All right, welcome to another episode of Gearheads and Guardians. I'm Chuck. That guy over there, that's Drew, aka
What's
Nitro.
up?
Today we're going to dive into the world of empowerment and wellness. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, getting your mind right, being physically fit. Um, you know, uh, let's be honest, in a self-defense situation, your body is your best weapon. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If your body, if you're physically fit and your mind's right, you're not going to make any bad decisions, and if you do, you'll be able to back them up.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that, and again, we're going to talk about our weight journeys that we discussed last week, and not only that, there's more. There's more we're going to talk about. We're going to talk to you again about Zalise. Okay. Whether it's, the
Mm-hmm.
CBD thing for, for like relaxation, because that's very important. Being relaxed at night, sleeping good, things like that, very important for your mental health as far as your physical health too. Your body's got to heal. It has to rest. Okay. Um, if it's energy boosters or immune support, hell, if it's even makeup stuff for your skin, they got you covered. So we're going to talk more about that tonight too. So join us
Mm-hmm.
tonight for Gearheads and Guardians. Remember, knowledge is power. Okay, knowledge is power, and together we're going to empower you. We're going to let you know all the information you need. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and let's gear up for greatness. How about it?
Let's do it.
We ready? All right, all right. So how's it going, big dog? We doing all right today?
Man, it's been a busy week so far. It's only Wednesday. Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Salute to you too, Mike. Good to see you, buddy.
Right, good seeing you,
Um,
bud.
so you know, it's something that we always talk about every week. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to go again, and not mention it. 988. If you ever think about hurting yourself or harming someone else, okay, um, just pick up that phone, man. 988. Make that call. Somebody on that phone gives a damn. They're going to talk to you. They're going to help you. They're going to point you in the right direction, and they're going to get you the help you need. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, gearheads and guardians at gmail.com. Address it to me or Drew or both of us. We'll help you. We'll do whatever we can to help you, point you in the right direction, get you the help you need. All you got to do is drop that email. Okay. So,
And you can
smoke.
contact us at relieffortroops.org. Info at
That's right.
relieffortroops.org. Always reach out. Always reach out.
Anytime, anytime. So, again, we're going to talk again about, I know everybody's tired of hearing it, training.
Training.
Okay. Train, train, train. And then when you're all tired, you took that shower and you're sitting down eating that meal, train some more. Okay. When I say train, I mean you can train with your weapon. You can go to the range. You can shoot. You can sit at home with your, uh, we'll call it a laser target system that I happen to sell. So if you're interested,
Mm-hmm.
let me know. And
It's
you
a
can
nice
save a lot
system
of
too.
money training that way. Okay.
Mhm.
So sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that you can train for. Training with your weapon, physically train, go through the
Oh yeah.
steps. Okay. Set up scenarios. Why, if you're training with your weapon, set up that scenario. Set up that scenario. It could be any scenario. It could be, you're at you can set up like an ATM in your back room or whatever. Make like set a dresser right there, like a small nightstand or whatever, and you can pretend you're getting money out of there, and all of a sudden somebody's at your back. You go through the motions. Go through the
Yeah.
motions. Dry fire exercises. Okay. And if you're like Drew and you've been trained in martial arts or MMA or whatever the case may be, if you're trained in that, go through those. The same thing as like if you're in martial arts doing katas, over and over and over again until you get those movements precise every single time. You're doing blocks and strikes and everything like that. They have to be perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Run through those scenarios in your head, go through that. So you're physically and mentally aware and adapt to these situations. So if somebody, you know, if they are unfortunate enough to catch you at an ATM or at a supermarket or a ball game or at the store or try to carjack you, okay? Sorry for them because you are a subscriber to Gearheads and Guardians, and all we talk about is training and training and training. And you took it to heart, and you did the right thing, and now look at you,
Yeah,
unstoppable.
I want to I want to piggyback on what you were saying about martial arts. Yeah, we train the art of Bushido, samurai, and even after all the years in the military, you know, of doing PT and all that stuff that we went through, um, going through and training martial arts every weekend, or trying to just to learn the art and then what it can do for you. You it is something that's constantly moving. You are never done. And I think if you look at all the stuff that's going on today, Chuck, like I can't turn on Fox News and there hasn't been either a mass shooting, there hasn't been an
Oh yeah,
abduction, there hasn't been a carjacking or what have you. And as egotistical as this sounds, um, that stuff does not worry me, right? Maybe I'm crazy, but that kind of stuff doesn't worry me, and it's not because I think that I'm some badass. It's because I have been forced to rely on everything that we've been taught, everything that I have taught, and what I teach. So you have an excellent point, buddy, when you talk about um, over and over and over and over and over again. Today's mentality, I'm gonna be straight up to say it. Today's mentality, and a lot of people, is probably not going to happen to me. Probably not going to work on me. It's probably
hey,
not going to, you know. And guess what? Now you become
it
a
happened.
statistic. It happened, you know. And
Yep.
and if anything, do something that can mitigate the most amount of damage. Like even when we train martial arts, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to get cut. We're going to get hurt. We're going to get, you never know. But the goal is to be in a position where you come out on top. You know what I mean? And you do that with weapons. You do that with USCCA always every week puts out a training something. I get it in my email. You know, um, they are always talking about uh, this. Yeah, there you go. The topic of this week is going to be how to do this. The topic of this week is how to do that, and take it to heart. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, my students, when they feel like they're not getting it, even with the weapon side of the house, take 5 minutes a day. Work on one thing: drawing your weapon. Right. One thing I like about the O light is I can turn my laser on. Right. I can turn my green dot on. I'll pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick. You know what I was doing, and it's been a while since I did it. But when I got my O light, you know what I was doing? I have a little exit sticker by the back window of my RV, and it's a little target. And I was over here by
Gotcha.
the door, and I was like, let me just see how accurate this thing is. And I would pull, and you get used to this motion. You just do something. Don't just think that, hey,
Muscle memory.
I got this gun and I can point, and I'm good to go. Man, there's people out there that couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and they're standing 6 inches from it because they don't work on it. So you have a good point there, man. And yeah, I get passionate about it because of the jujitsu side of the house. I mean, I'll use
Sure.
my hands before I use a weapon, but you got to
Well,
practice.
see, my biggest thing, um, when it comes to that situation, okay, if I find myself in a situation where I don't want to be in, and I'm faced with, you know, an adversary that wants to do harm to me, Okay. Uh,
Hmm.
first thing I'm first thing I'm going to try to do, okay, is there's two things: walk away from it or talk my way out of it.
Right.
I don't want to pull my weapon on somebody. I don't want to hurt nobody. I mean, be honest. I really don't want to hurt nobody. Okay.
Right.
That's not my goal. My goal is to survive, live, go home, see my, my family, my kids, whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's the goal. Now, again, training. Okay. When I talked about training a few minutes ago, I said something about, being mentally prepared, and it's something that you spoke about before, calm in the chaos. Okay. Um, that's really important. Okay. Because if you're,
Hmm.
if your head's not in the game, you don't need to be playing. You need
Right.
to be mentally aware. Okay. Mentally
Yep.
strong. Okay. Um, be prepared. Know the laws that you're dealing with. Okay. If you're,
Hmm.
you carrying a concealed weapon, and you might train with that weapon day in, day out, but have you read the laws lately? These
Right.
handgun laws are changing constantly. Do yourself
Yeah.
a favor, go online and just go to these different websites that have the handgun laws. There's websites in every state that
Hmm.
map out exactly the laws. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not in these highfalutin big terms or nothing like that. You know, they're in everyday terms that people can understand. You know what I mean? It's not like you need to be,
Yeah.
rocket scientist or Elon Musk to understand it. It's all simple English, real simple, you know, and they have it in Spanish. If you're in Texas, they do have it in
Yeah.
Spanish. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I say train, I don't mean just, do 1,000 push-ups in a day till you puke and shoot that gun till your pockets are dry and have no more money to buy ammunition and your fingers got blisters. Then you've trained enough. That's not what I'm
No.
saying. Train your mind. Train that like I've always said, knowledge is power. If you don't know those laws, you don't have, I don't want to say the right, but you don't have the capacity to be carrying. Okay. If you ever have a doubt about a handgun law, just look it up. I do it. I'm constantly, I'll be point perfect. I was going to HEB yesterday
Yeah.
and I'm just driving, talking to my girl, my kids, blah, 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 blah. Next thing, like, kind of drifted for a second and I came back. A scenario just happened to pop in my head. What if? I was like, man, I need to go home and look it up. So I did, and I was right.
Hmm.
I was right. I wanted to be 110% positive. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to make sure because
Yeah.
my freedom is not worth some Joe schmuck. Sorry, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just not. You know. So
Y-
when I
The
say train, that doesn't mean just physically. You know that doesn't mean I take my lion's mane and I take my ashwagandha so I know I'm sharp, my mind's focused. You could be the most focused person in the world, but dumber in a box of rocks because you don't know the laws. Next thing you know, you're
well.
sitting in prison talking to Big Bubba
Yeah.
because you thought you knew the handgun laws. Sorry, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Now you're screwed. So train your body and your mind. Get
Well,
it right
and
here
adrenaline.
before you put it in.
The Yeah, the adrenaline is the downfall of focus, right? Um,
Mm,
we always we have that anxious. Uh, when you first start out in martial arts, that's what happens. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. You know there's pain coming, so you kind of get real. You start getting real defensive in the sense when you train, and that's how you can get hurt. So when you talk about calm and weapons, that is those two together are an are almost more important than how good you are with your hands if you don't have a weapon, because at least in the state of Texas, um, uh, as we have the castle law, right? But we
yeah,
that
Castle Doctrine.
right, but it doesn't tell you that if someone comes in if you're armed and someone pulls a knife or pull a gun on you, right? And this is going to sound weird. Um, don't if they're within an arm's length of you and they pull a weapon out, they're probably not going to shoot. Most of the time they're just there just to scare you, right? And
Sure.
what happens is while you're while the law allows you that if your life is threatened, they pull a weapon, you pull your weapon, do what you got to do, right? In in the martial arts world, in the way Sensei teaches us and the way I teach is real simple. The closer they are to you, the less time you have to react. And if they haven't done anything and you're just standing there and you haven't gone on the offense even without a weapon in your hand, then you're just asking for trouble. So that focus and that short amount of time and that decision making has all got to be done with calm. And I don't know. I just think that there's not enough training going on even with the hands. I don't know. In Korea, I'm going to say this, in Korea, right? Um, the ROK soldiers, when they graduate high school, every young man must serve 2 years in the military, and their PT and they teach they teach taekwondo. That is their self defense. That is their hand to hand combat. What we call combatives, which I think is a joke in today's military, and yes, I'm going to say that. I think today's hand to hand combat that we teach in the military, it's built around Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It is built around an art that is a competition art. It's a competition
Kind of like
sport, a
Taekwondo too.
combative sport. Right. Taekwondo in its original form is a self-defense art, right? Just like Krav
Yeah.
Maga in its original form, just like uh, uh, there's some other ones out there, but in the original form, from the original countries, Filipino
Right.
stick fighting, right?
Oh, that's
Um,
sick.
that's ridiculous. But when you go way back to the ancient art of samurai, samurai was way before any of that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so moving in today, there's not enough people that get into knives and guns and things like that that don't actually they don't take the time to train. They don't take the time to have someone go, hey, pull a weapon on me, and I'm going to try not to want to pull mine. You know what I mean? If you're close enough to me, I'm
Right.
going to want to try to work on something else. So you're absolutely right. And you know, in today's society, it's it's I don't know, man. I don't like the way it's going. I love the state of Texas. I love our laws here, but I also think that our laws here do open up the door just a little bit to carelessness
I
in
agree.
some ways. There's some
I agree
carelessness
wholeheartedly.
that can come from
Wholeheartedly.
that. Yeah.
Well, see, it's that again. It's I don't want to say this and sound like a jerk. Um, I know. I personally know two instructors that teach the handgun course in the state of Texas. One of them used to be an MP, super knowledgeable guy. Same guy you took your
Mhm.
course from, the one that I told you to go talk to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
great
Uh
guy,
huh.
fantastic. And if you guys ever in the state of Texas and you need a handgun course, look up a gentleman on Facebook under Armory One. Tell him Chuck and Drew sent you. But if and like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing what they teach, but what they teach is outlined by the state of Texas. So they're
Right.
everything that they're told they have to do, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
What I do like about the gentleman that taught you and I both the course, um, he didn't just stop at, okay, well, this is what the state of Texas tells me. Okay. But I'm also going to tell you this and teach you this. Okay.
Hmm.
which is great, which is fantastic, super awesome. Okay.
Hmm.
I wish they had more um, time, with these courses instead of just the 4 hours, that required. But if they could, me personally, I believe to, okay, I believe that if you are a handgun carrier in any state, not just Texas, any state, you should take a week long course, whether it's, you know, 2 days here, 2 days this week, 2 days, three, 4 or 5 day course at least, a 5 day
Hmm.
course. Okay. You sit down, you take a test, and you have to pass it, and it has to be, approved by the state that you're in. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way, when you pull your weapon on somebody and you dust somebody, and now you're feeling all horrible and stuff because you took, little Johnny's daddy away from him because little Johnny's daddy was a crackhead trying to steal your money at the ATM machine. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to know your rights. You're going to know the laws. You know if, you know, this cops, and I'm not saying all cops are dirty, but they're dirty cops out there. Let's just be honest. We see it every day on YouTube, guys.
Hmm.
Come on. It's there.
Hmm.
Okay. People get
Hmm.
power hungry and they get stupid. And that's not just police officers now. That's people in general. You give somebody a little bit of power, sometimes it goes to their head and they get
Yeah.
stupid. You know?
Yeah.
Now, am I saying that all cops are like that? No, I'm not. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. Right here in this little town that I live in Texas, we have a handful of officers. You know, I can go to the schools, I can go to the ball games, I can go to the ATM, I can go to any grocery store, supermarket, whatever. And if I see
Hmm.
one of them, yeah, I put my hand up and they're just, hey, how you doing today, sir? And super nice guys. They're not jerks. I mean, I even got pulled over one night because my headlight was out. I didn't even
Oh,
realize that my
yeah.
headlight was out. And he said, hey, I first thing he did, he comes up to my truck and he goes, hey, how you doing tonight? I said, I'm doing pretty good. Before I could even mention, so you got your gun in the truck? No, sir, I don't. And he says, can I trust you? And I said, sir, if you don't, I don't trust you either. He's like, fair enough. So we had our conversation. He let me go home. I told him, I said,
Hmm.
man, it's a wire. I know it is. I saw it the other day and I didn't fix it and I should have. He says, well, just go home and fix it. He says, you're only a couple blocks away. Go home. So I
Yeah.
went home, fixed it. Super great guys here in my little town. Okay. So I'm not saying that all law enforcement's dirty. I'm just saying human nature can allow that to happen.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Okay. So again, he said lights are on, but nobody's home.
Right.
So, but what I'm getting at, if you don't know these laws, okay, you're opening yourself up to get done wrong. Okay, I don't want to
Hmm.
be crass, but you're opening yourself up to be taken advantage of. Okay,
Yes.
so get that law into your brain, check them out, and literally I know there's God, I wish I could remember. I know in the state of Texas there's a website that I went on, and every time a handgun law changes or a gun law changes, I get a text message
Oh, yeah.
that refers me back to that website that shows me what it used to
Yeah.
be and what it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get a chance to look stuff up like that, please do it. It's only going to benefit
Yeah.
you. Okay. And not only is it going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit the people around you that you might be
Sure.
defending, or it could be your family that might be losing out on a family member because you didn't know the law. Thought you knew it,
Yep.
but you didn't. Okay. So there's that
And
aspect of
and
training. Learn, learn, learn. That's it. Knowledge is
yeah,
power.
and I do think that also, if you own a weapon, uh, whether it's a handgun or you carry, and I'm not going. When I say knives, I carry a karambit, right? I carry a double-edged
Mhm.
karambit. Only because when in our art of Kazarashiru, we can actually use the weapon as, instead of our hand, we're putting a blade on our hand. So every time that we block and we move
Extended.
and we do whatever, we're cutting you, right? So I'm slicing. I learn how to defend against things like that. Get some sort of hand-to-hand combat, and I say hand-to-hand combat. I hate saying that word too in the sense because it's not really like that, but get some sort of hand self-defense training. Just even a
Mm,
concept of whatever. Just to get your mind kind of going, okay, I don't need to freak out right now because if I freak out, I'm showing the guy that he's actually getting to me, and then I just empowered him on my
I just
weakness.
lost half the
Simple,
battle.
yeah, simple things like that. So you're absolutely correct, man. Know the laws and have good judgment on whether or not, if someone pulls a gun on you, that doesn't mean you pull a gun on them. Okay.
You don't have to.
If they're close enough, right? And they pull a gun on you and they haven't pulled the trigger and they're within my eye and your space, don't pull your gun out. You've already lost the distance deal. Now you got to use your hands and you can do that. So just
You do.
just keep that in mind,
Train, train, train.
train. And go on a
That's it.
USCCA. Those guys have a video like every 7 seconds of somebody training. Some of
I
their
swear to
they
God. That's right, Miguel.
dude, that's
Good, good
true.
book too.
Yeah, there it is, the art of war. Uh, when you talk about
Sun Tzu.
now, he's going to get me started on the code of the samurai. The art of war. Musashi was the king of that, right? He
Yes.
wrote the Book of Five Rings, and he
Do I still have that book?
he totally detailed how to truly, you know, calmly go through life with a combat art. It really is, Musashi, the Book of Five Rings. You have uh, uh, I can't think of his name now. He was the founder of Aikido. But he was
Oh
samurai,
yeah.
and he turned it into an art for competition and style. And then you have people like Steven Seagal who are masters at it, and everybody says, "Hey, it's all fake" or whatever. Here's the thing about training hand-to-hand combat. The You have to have some people that know how to give, and you have to have people that know how to move with you so you don't hurt them, right? Because back in the day, they killed each other training. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all fake. It's all this. Okay, I tell
Oh
you
no.
what. If you don't want it to fake and come train with me, you'll only do it once.
I
And
tell
and
you what.
so
When I was training Kempo, just before the army, before I joined the army, I was doing Bujin Kempo,
Mhm.
and I'm here to tell you, if you think that training's fake, tell that to my face. When the sensei punched me in the face, I don't know how many times trying to get me to
Yeah.
get my hands up. I'm always like, come on, mug, like I'm a street
Hmm.
fighter or something. And he'd get your hands up,
Hmm. It only takes
you know,
once, and then
you'll learn.
and then you'll learn. And we also we've taken the ancient art and then we add the modern day weapon to it, and we
Mhm.
have a gun. We train with guns in our art because it's modern day. I mean, we don't live back in communist Japan, right? But
Right.
we have to tailor the mindset to today's society in the sense, right?
Was Japan ever
So
communist? I thought it was China that was communist.
the
I gotta get
emperor, um, the
gotta give you a hard
Japanese,
time.
yeah, the Japanese, the emperor went to the communist ways of the Western world, and that's why the samurai were ousted
Split
in the
up.
late
Yep.
1880s. And Sensei was part of that. Sensei Nishiyama, the founder of our art, was part of that era, and his
Right.
grandson, who died in '79, still taught the art, and to our current Shinan. So we train like they did back in the temple during the Meijing era. We train the exact same way, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But I will tell you this: I'm not going to freak out. My girlfriend says, "Why? You're very calm and patient." I said, "It's going to take a lot to get me riled up because you lose focus when you get mad." Let's talk about everyday life, right? You have a gun sitting next to you, and you get mad, or you have knives in your house and you get mad, what do you hear all the time? People getting angry and, oh, I killed my family because I was saving them from the voices in their head. or I was doing some stupid crap. You, there's so many scenarios where the laws um,
Sure.
are just not forcing you to train more than what you need to. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm just
Right.
saying, just I could go all night about it, but
I look at it
just
like this.
get some
In
training
that
on it.
aspect, I'm like, exactly. And my aspect on that is I'd rather train way more than what I needed to because, you know, one day I might need it, but if I don't ever have to use it, by God, thank you, Lord. I appreciate you. You're the best ever. You know, best thing since sliced bread and peanut butter and jelly in the same jar.
Hmm.
But if the case ever came down to where I had to use it, I'm glad I
Yeah,
trained. I'm glad I learned it. I'm
yeah.
glad I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Hmm.
So now
And
let's move on a little bit past that portion of it. What
okay.
about physical training? Okay, we talked about training, you know, training your mind, getting prepared for those situations, you know, if you might have to draw your weapon on somebody, let's not forget you got to be mentally prepared for it after the situation. Okay, remember
Yeah,
that. USCCA, there's your plug, buddy.
yep.
But
USDCA.
physical fitness, let's talk about physical fitness now. I mean, you could be, you know, the most book smart person in the world. You might know these
Hmm.
laws inside, outward, backward, forward. You know, you might know exactly how your weapon functions. You might know the exact rate of fire. You might know the all that stuff is great, you know. But what happens if, you know, you draw your weapon, you know, and they're, you know, they might be trying to kidnap your kid or your girl, or they might be hurting somebody. You might walk up on something
Hmm.
and see something, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not physically fit and that guy takes off, you know, takes off to do something, you know, in the state of Texas, it is our responsibility to stop that criminal. If you walk up on something, it is our responsibility as a citizen
Yes.
to stop that from happening. Okay.
Yes.
To include stopping him from fleeing to bring him to justice. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Okay. Just because, you know, you walk up on something. Now, look, if you are 4'10" and you weigh 85 pounds and you see some big burly mug, you know, like, well, that guy doing something bad, you know, this guy's over 200 pounds and you weigh 80. Do I really expect you to run up on somebody and tackle him? Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, kidding, kidding,
Yeah.
kidding, kidding.
I mean,
No,
if you're
I don't
brave and know
expect
what you're
that.
doing,
That's
size
not what I'm
doesn't
saying. You're
matter.
brave, but stupid. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is use your brain again, being
Yeah.
mentally prepared. Okay. If you are physically capable, then great.
Yep.
Okay. But not only that, say, okay, say Drew's a bad guy. I walk up on him. I'm 200 pounds. Drew's like what, 230,
I'm 242.
210, 242?
242.
Okay. So there you go, guys. Now you know the truth. 242.
Yeah.
I'm only actually,
Yeah.
guys, my weight, I did drop weight. I'm only down to 189 pounds. So, whoop, whoop. Okay. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If I walked up on this guy doing something bad to somebody, hurting somebody, you know, or something like that, now he's only got 40, 60 pounds on me. Not, it's a big deal, but not that big of a deal. Okay. What makes it a big deal? Okay. I got one arm that works good. I got one leg that kind of works, and the other leg is shot. Okay. I'm not really too physically able to, you know, get in a fisticuff with this guy. So at that point, I'd be like, hey, bro, you might want to stop. I don't think you're going to
Hmm.
like what's coming next. And leave it at
Hmm.
that. Be prepared. If you make that statement, be prepared because you're going to get challenged. I promise you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to
I was
be
going to
able
blow
to.
away in a
You
minute.
got to be able to. You got to be able to pick and choose your battles, but you still have to do
Amen.
something. You know, they have this thing called a telephone. Call the cops. call the
Amen.
cops.
Amen.
You know,
Hell
but
yeah.
if if you're trained and you know how, and you come across a situation like that, and you have an idea of what to do to help the person out, like it, especially if their back is to me, um, that's, I mean, then you do what you got to do. You have to help out, you know, um, but don't just let it happen. You know, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
I mean,
because
it's
you
kind of
might
like
not
coming
be
up on a rat.
big enough or physically big enough to stop somebody,
Hmm.
that don't mean you just turn your back and say, "Oh hell, what the hell with it," you know?
Yeah.
If you walk up on something and they don't notice you and they are way bigger than you or there's way more of them than you, man, sneak the back up and sneak the hell up out of there, back up out of
Yeah.
there, take off and make that phone call. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you can get on your Google Maps, drop a pin, man. That way you know exactly pinpoint where it was. You know what I mean? It's just little things like that.
Yeah.
Have for things like that, put a an app on your cell phone. Put it on your home screen on your
Hmm.
cell phone. You can just click, boom, right there it is, bang, got it. Now I know right where I was
Yep.
at. Now I can just take off, get to safety. Now I can report it. Okay, things like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Again, mentally prepared. You know, be physically prepared. Um, Now, when I say physically prepared, okay, we're talking about training with our weapons. We're talking about training again with like hand-to-hand combat, karambits, different daggers, whatever the case may, whatever your weapon of choice might be. Okay, I
Yep.
recommend that you train with it. Okay, um, and I just forgot what I was going to say, and I had a good storyline coming up. God dang it. Anyway, again, train, train, train. Get used to these weapons. Be physically fit because you never know. This guy might be. And again, here's another one. Don't underestimate that guy that's facing you.
Yeah.
Okay, just
You
trying
can't.
to that guy that's trying to take you out. Man, you never know. Case in point. Okay, a while back, I was at a store in San Antonio, and you know, uh, Drew, you know how I am. I'm like, hey, you better show some people some damn respect. You know what I mean? Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. You don't have to be that way. Okay. So I'm driving through the parking lot. I'm trying to come home. You know, I'm tired. I don't feel good. I want to go home. Okay. I'm also about 50, 60 miles away from home. I want to go now. Okay. So I don't
Right.
need some dude in the parking lot trying to stop me outside of a crosswalk, trying to get up to the store, telling me, stop, you stop, you stop, and then letting his girlfriend walk. I get it. Chivalry. Wonderful thing. I am totally digging that. Okay. Go play that bullshit with somebody else. Okay. I'm not about that. If I'm in the right and I'm going through this parking lot, there's no crosswalks. Get out of the way. It's so simple. Okay. This guy, because I didn't stop, he bows up at me like, he's going to do something. So I just stopped. And I told the guy, I rolled my window down and I said, sir, politely, I'm letting you know today's not the good day to do that. And today I'm not the right one to do that to. Okay. I just want to go home. He starts running his mouth. Okay. I just took off, prevented the whole thing. Okay. I didn't like what he did to me. Now, was I wrong for stopping? Absolutely. Absolutely. But at the same time, my thought process was this guy needs to know he can't be just doing stuff like that, bowing up on people. You don't know who you're going to bow up on. Now, what I'm getting at, I'm telling you that for this reason. Okay. If would have been flip flopped, you know, what I have to, if I'd have done that to that guy and that guy was like, I don't know, Navy SEAL,
Yeah.
you never know who you're coming up on. Okay. Now, that being said, was I right? Probably not. Okay. But did I let him know, hey, you're not the big badass that you think you are. Okay. Because
Well.
I literally could have went like that and probably knocked him over. Okay. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. I stopped because if he would have kept that attitude up with somebody else, he probably would have got his tail whooped and handed to him. You know what I mean? I didn't want to see the guy get beat up, but that was the attitude he was coming at me with. I was like, whoa, slow down there, Scooter. You know, that's all that was. So now that the whole story's out, the guy could have been a whopping 150 pounds if he was wet. Okay. And the guy was probably, from the looks of it, he was, maybe 21, you know? So life lessons. Now, could he have had a gun and shot me in the face? Absolutely. That was the risk I was willing to take. I didn't want to see the kid get beat up because you coming out people with an attitude like that, it's going to get you beat up eventually. Now, on this flip side of that, he could have been a black belt in 10 different martial arts for all I know. I don't know.
Hmm.
So plus and minuses there,
and
pros and cons. You know what I mean? Point is,
yeah.
just be prepared, physically prepared. You never know who you're going to go up against. It could. When I was in Kempo classes now, there was a lady, a mom. Okay. Now, when I was in Kempo classes, you got to remember, when I was in Kempo classes, I was like, I think 18, 19 at the time, and this lady was training. And I thought, well, shoot, I'm a dude, man. It's a lady. I had to spar with her. My first day in class, I sparred with this woman. Oh, I tell you what, gave me a whole new outlook on women, let me tell you. That
Well,
woman handed
it's
me
training.
my ass. I never
Yeah,
trained. I didn't know.
yeah, and it does training. We teach. You know, first of all, my outlook and my aspect of things is a little bit different. I only worry about what I can control. The road rage around here is absolutely insane.
Oh, it's crazy.
Insane. And there's been many a times where people think that they have the right of way walking in front of my car and they get I've been through that too. You're a little bit different in me than I am because I personally I don't when I don't want to I don't want to answer those questions if anything ever comes up. I don't want to answer those questions because I will not my mindset is just totally different, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I try to avoid things not for my safety but for situational safety, right? But
Sure. I get it.
you're gonna get tested. You're gonna get tested all the time. People do it all. If you come to San Antonio and you get on the highway, you are walking into Rage City. These people around here, they're always in a hurry. They feel like they own the road. They I mean, I I could go on and on and on and on, right? Um, just for people that are watching, remember, so if I were to die tomorrow, which is quite possible, cancer is a weird thing. Um,
Don't say
control what,
that.
worry about what you can control, and know that you can only control what's in your arm's reach
Oh,
and
absolutely.
what's
Absolutely.
inside in between your ears. Otherwise, especially when you're having weapons involved and you train physically, physically, and you know that the guy that you're going to have those guys out there and there's those people out there with little man syndrome. These kids today do not care. They have no respect for their elders, they have no respect for their peers, and they have no respect for generation. Zero. And many
It's
a
not
times
like
I
when we
saw
grew
when
up.
they, no, like when they come into the dojo, right? Why are you here? Well, my parents are making me do this. All right, well then I don't need you here, because you're going to get hurt. And there have been many a times where kids and students would come from other martial arts and try to impose, their training and their physical fitness in my class. And that didn't work out very well for them. So always always be physically prepared, but also know that the more physically prepared you are, the more your body's in shape, the more you feel energized. You still got to keep it calm because there's someone who's going to try to push your button. Always try to push the
Oh,
button.
always, always,
You
always,
know?
always,
Yeah.
always.
Uh,
And
I
look,
always look for
and look.
training opportunities.
and I'll be the first one to tell you, okay, back in the day, okay, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking like 60s and 70s, okay, there was a saying, and I don't know if it's all that well known now or not, okay, but my dad used to always tell me, okay, now you got to remember now, my dad was born before the Depression, okay, so he would always tell me, look at me dead in my face, and he'd say, "Boy, I just forgot what I was going to say. Crap, that's the second time today." He would always tell me, "Oh," he'd always tell me, look me dead in my face, and he'd say, "Boy, you better do as I tell you, and don't do as I do." Yes, sir, got it. And I've carried that with
Mm-hmm.
me, okay, and I'm passing it on to all y'all, okay. Just because I was an idiot, stopped my truck and tried to, set this young man straight, okay, don't always mean that's the right thing to do. All right. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I felt comfortable enough in that situation. I'm just glad it was the right decision, that he didn't have a gun, he didn't pull up on me or something like that, And but, after it was all said and done, you know, how you can kind of look at it, look at somebody's face and go, "Man, I'm glad they let me know that." You ever see that look on people's face like,
Mm-hmm.
"Damn, dude's right," you know? And that's the look I got
It's
back
called
from him. Was
getting,
like, "Damn,
yeah,
dude's
it's
right."
called getting put in your spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's like
gotta,
opening your eyes. Damn,
get
the
put in
dude's
your spot.
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's what that ended up being. Okay. I'm not trying to act like I'm a tough guy because I'm not. I'm not a tough guy by any means. Okay. I got a big heart. I got a heart bigger than Texas, and I care about people too much. That's my problem. you know, it's gotten me in a lot of even financial ruin sometimes. Where I've tried to help people out when I didn't have the money, and that was back in the day. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, it is what it is. So again, train, 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 know the laws, train, 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 get physically fit, train some more with your weapon, make it so it's, second nature, muscle memory, just, set yourself up with different scenarios, things like that. Okay. So
There's
now,
courses out there too. Look them up and
yeah,
go to
absolutely.
courses.
Yeah, what's it? What's that article called in USCCA magazine? It's in there every
Oh,
month.
yeah, they have a training article and yeah, and
Yeah,
everything
that's why
that
I want.
yeah.
That's why I wanted to get that article
Yeah.
name.
If you're absolutely new to owning a firearm and you even entry even how to protect your house the right way, like where you're you know where your entry and exit points and never have when you're out in public, never have your back to the door, always find your path and always
Always.
there's just so many things you have to do. Mm-hmm.
Yep. My girl, every time we walk into a restaurant, I walk in, I just kind of scanning my
Oh yeah,
sector,
that's
I'm, scanning my lane. And she's like, "What are you doing?"
mm-hmm.
I just give her that
Yeah,
look like,
yeah,
"Oh, never mind."
we always make sure we find our path, whether in a bar or whatever.
Right,
It's
right.
not, you know, it's not where the exit is. Once I find it, it's how many people, if something goes down, do I got to go through to get out? I
Yeah,
mean,
how many
it's
people do I got to mow down to get out?
yeah,
or better yet, if somebody comes in that door being stupid, how many people do I have to look around to get past to take out that threat?
mm,
What's behind that threat that I have to worry about? What's behind them? So there's a lot of things to worry about. But now I was saying in the USCCA here, that looks like a cover a picture from cartoons or something. But uh, it's got, I mean, just some amazing 3 or 4 different articles on legal things, um, different rigs to use, like holsters. I
mm-hmm,
mean, just everything. Let's see, letters to the editor. Okay, Battle Blades even talks about knives. Um,
mm-hmm.
True story. You got those true stories articles in here. Drill of the month. So that's your training is drills of the month.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a drill of the month, right?
Instructors Corner is another good one that I like to read. Um, Defensive Edge. That was a good one. If you haven't read that one, that's a good one. You'll be getting yours here pretty soon, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it should be coming. It normally comes.
I just got this earlier today,
Yeah,
so you should be
yeah.
getting yours too. But I really wanted, but the big thing I really wanted to touch on tonight, because it's been present in my life now for the last, well, okay, about 3 months. But here lately, you know, I've been kind of um, stacking different supplements and things like that. Okay. So I do the CBD thing. It helps a lot with me sleeping at night. Helps a lot with me. And I don't know what the issue is. Okay. VA doesn't know. I'm not really too worried about it at this point. But if I don't take CBD, I just don't eat. I literally
Hmm.
will just stop eating. I don't get hungry. I just don't eat. I don't even get
Yeah.
like stomach aches or nothing like that. I just don't eat. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
been helping me with that. But I've been taking ashwagandha, and I've been taking lion's mane. Okay. But what I really, really wanted to get into was more of the health products outside of the CBD realm, and some of the CBD stuff that they sell from Zulise. Um, Again, I know we've talked about I think it's called Burn, right? The one in the red label. It's a red label, I think it's called.
Hmm.
Isn't it called
Yes.
Burn?
Yes.
I really want to touch base on that one.
Good.
And some of the effects that it has. I mean, it helps great for even people with diabetes. I mean, this guy was on this taking this stuff it's called Burn from Zulise. Okay.
Hmm.
This stuff is so freaking amazing, y'all. I mean, I'm not kidding you. This stuff is so freaking amazing. The guy was a full blown diabetic. I mean, every day, the shots, everything. Okay. This guy was on this product called Burn on a normal dose. Okay. He had to literally half the dose because it was cutting his sugar
Hmm.
too much. Okay.
Hmm.
So by taking this product, now the guy's not on insulin no more. He's not doing, and he's no longer diabetic. Well, you're always going to be diabetic, but it's not like
Yeah.
hindering him anymore. It's
Yeah.
controlled, very controlled. A1C is down, diabetes is down. You know, it's a great product. Okay. And I really would like
Hmm.
to touch base, on some of the stuff that Zalise offers that'll help with,
Yeah.
like your like mental focus, physical, the physical attributes of it, as far as like, my knees are hurting, and when I train, my knees hurt, well, things like that, and just overall whole health, I guess you could say, from Zalise and the things that they offer. And they're not just a CBD company, man. I mean, these guys are a CBD company with a
Yeah.
reputation that is paramount. I mean,
Yeah.
how people don't know about Zalise is beyond me. I'm being 100% totally factual, 100%
Yeah.
truthful. I don't know how people don't know about it. I went to the store a little while ago. I was telling you about the guy at the store.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
that there was a guy and gentleman in front of me, and he was talking about, oh, I got to, this, I'm cancer and yada, yada, yada. I just found out a little while ago today I got cancer and yada, yada, yada. And I just like, okay. So the guy turned and started to walk away. And, I was going to say something to him. And then the guy in the counter started speaking to me. So I, oh, damn, And
Yeah.
he says, well, yeah, that guy, sorry about that, blah, blah, blah. He just, I said, no, I heard it all. I said, hey, man, give me a piece of your receipt paper, So I wrote down there, shop@zalise.com. I said, tell him to check this out.
Hmm.
I said, and if he's a veteran, tell him to look at the Patriot program. Okay. So dude ran outside, followed the guy through the parking lot, gave it to him. Guy was all real thankful, real thankful. And the cool part that I didn't tell you yet, while I'm in this store, I had to write this down like 7 or 8 different times and hand it out to people because everybody was asking me about it. Okay.
Yeah.
This stuff is no joke. Okay. My best friend, y'all might know him. His name's Drew. We call him Nitro. Yeah, that's my best friend. Okay, so this guy has been on this products for some time. Took himself off of chemo, took himself off radiation, whatever, cancer treatment they had him on at the Veterans Administration now. Okay. He started himself on CBD. Okay. And now his numbers will stable, or excuse me, his numbers are stable. Okay. Uh, the leukemia is not getting worse. It's not getting better. Well, it's probably better now, obviously. He still has it, and he still looks freaking great, y'all, from CBD, from the products. So, with that being said, Mr. Drew, could you tell us a little bit more about Zalise, please?
Yes.
Since
Yeah.
you're the
So
expert and you're living
it
proof.
well, I I'm I'm not a world renowned
Nice
expert
hat,
on
by
it,
the
but
way.
I have been on it for a long time, and uh, the thing about um, Zalise and actually the CBD and any of the products on the website is you actually have to understand the body, right? You have to understand how the body works. You have to understand how certain things um, how certain things affect the body, right? So the first thing that I try to tell people when I talk about Zalise is the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system is actually the we call it the computer that actually tells your body when your brain says something to ECS, your ECS tells your body go go do what it's going to do. The ECS uh, uh, and endocannabinoid is what's found in hemp, and the endocannabinoid uh, inside the ECS actually starts. It's just like anything else: testosterone, estrogen, whatever. The older we get, everything starts to get less, right?
Right.
Well,
That better
when
not
you
be an
when
old fart
you
joke.
right, yeah, I'll be 40. I'll be 47 next year. So, but anyway,
Okay, youngster.
um, so understanding how the body works and the different products that they have is how you build your package for the needs of your body, right? CBD in all of its glory, yes, has been keeping me off of chemo, right? And funny enough, it's been a couple months since I've actually taken some because I just haven't ordered any. But what the time that I was on it all, consistently every day, it trained my ECS and it trained my body to kind of help fight itself, right? Take care of itself.
Sure.
That's why it's important that you take care of your health. You work out a little bit, you eat good, you diet right, right? So uh, you talk about burn. Burn has spices, cinnamon, chromium, the element chromium in it to tell your brain to tell your ECS to burn the sugar that your pancreas makes inside your body, your natural sugar, um, for energy. See, people that have overreactive pancreatic or have diabetes, whether it's too much sugar or not
Or not
enough
enough.
or not enough. If you have the one that has too much sugar, your body's making too much sugar, but it's not burning it. Your metabolism is not burning it. That you're not using it. Those are mainly the heavier set people that have diabetes. And there are a bunch of side effects of that type of diabetes, but then they eat and they probably don't eat the greatest or whatever. And then they have the diabetes that is either I think it's type 8 or type B. I don't know which one it is. So anyway, you get on burn and burn starts changing how your body burns sugar. Almost to the
Mhm.
point where your body is not used to not having all that sugar in it and they start crashing. But understanding how the body works is the absolute key to any of these processes, like arthritis. Arthritis
Mm.
is paramount in all my joints from working out, and chemo just inflamed everything, right? So ultra ice. Ultra Ice has the elements that help rebuild the fluid and help the pain sensors inside your joints. Right? It's got
Oh,
turmeric in
yeah.
it. It's got I don't have all the ingredients in it or what have you now, but turmeric's the biggest thing. Um, then you have the cognitive health, right? You have Ultra Edge. They call it Edge,
Yes.
and
That's one I want to
inside
check out
Edge,
next.
yes. Oh, dude, that stuff is so awesome. I love the way it tastes too. Um, there's a root in South Africa, right, that they harvest, and it's the only place. It's the only place you can find it. Um, down there, I guess. They harvest this root, and this root actually works on the mental or your gray matter health, the cells and everything that's inside your brain. Um, it it sharpens your memory. It keeps you focused. It keeps the health of your brain uh, healthy. It's just really amazing stuff. You actually have a little more energy too because the way your brain starts working. It's really awesome stuff.
Right
Um,
on, right on.
but the biggest proponent of the Zalease is the CBD.
Mhm.
And we real quickly we talk about the stigma. We talk about the whole. We've talked about that in that one podcast we had when we were talking straight up CBD. You have hemp in your body. You have the endocannabinoid system that that hemp helps generate movement. It helps keep it moving. It's like adding fuel. It's like adding diesel to a diesel engine. You just and you keep it moving. And what happens is as your ECS, as you take CBD, it calms everything down. It takes the inflammation down. It calms your brain down. It tells your brain to calm all this down, but it also is energizing what keeps your body moving and focus on healing. And understanding how that works is a huge key to this. Yes, there are questions where it doesn't work for me. How do I know it's going to work the same for Chuck as it works the same for Drew? Well, instead of looking at it like that, understand that no matter what your ailments are, we as human beings are built the same.
Mhm.
Okay, we're built the same. Your body reacts to 6 milligrams to CBD no matter what. Doesn't matter your ailment. It doesn't matter what's wrong with you. It doesn't matter what's going on with you inside your brain. Has no, your body reacts to 6 milligrams of CBD. Okay.
Mhm.
In one full dropper of CBD of Zalease, you get 26 milligrams of CBD, and your body absorbs with the formulation 94+% of that. So your body's essentially
Incredible.
getting more. Yeah. So the formulation that they have at mom and pop stores it's just oil. It's just oil, right? And it's
It's
got
usually
THC in it.
it's yeah, it's usually like a like an extra virgin olive oil or
Mhm.
something like that with
Exactly.
some CBD stuff in it. That's all it is.
That's all it
Zalees
is.
is totally not like that. Okay. And not
So
only that, but
yeah,
as you heard the numbers, 26%. Okay.
26 milligrams.
Or 26 milligrams. Okay.
Yeah.
And most of the other stuff you're going to get is like way less than that of pure CBD. Now they might say, "Oh yeah, there's CBD in there." They could be 100% CBD,
But yeah.
but is it good quality? Okay, that's just like saying, "Well, hey man, you know what? I got me a 1970 Chevelle 450, or excuse me, a 69 Chevelle 454 out there, and it's the baddest thing that hit the street." And you tell me, yeah, well, I got a 69 Chevelle 454 that's the baddest thing on the street. And then we put the two cars side by side. One of them could be just pristine, I mean,
Mhm.
showroom perfect, and the other one might be a rusted out bucket of bolts. Still a bad car,
Yeah.
though. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
That,
You're not going to be able to drive that bucket of bolts, but you can drive that brand new, pristine looking
mhm.
car. It's the same thing with the quality of your CBD. Okay. If you're getting
Oh yeah.
CBD from an unreputable place that is not proven, you know, and I don't want to sound like a jerk, but you're wasting your money.
Oh, absolutely.
If
I'll
you're
tell you right
wanting a
now, you're
good, if
wasting
you're
your money.
wanting, and that's any supplement, okay, not just
Hmm.
CBD, but any supplement. If you're looking for ashwagandha, yohimbe, whatever the case may be, or a good protein powders, or what's that other one that I used to always go crazy over all the time? It's micronized something, and I can't think of what it's called. Anyway,
Hmm.
um, but it's like it like puts the water in the muscles and stuff like that. But what I'm getting at is no matter
Creatine.
what the supplement is that you're looking creatine, that's it. If you're looking for a supplement, don't just go buy the cheapest thing that you can afford, you know. Buy the good
Yeah.
quality stuff because that's when you're going to get good results, good trusted effects. It's not going to be just substandard half ass. Okay. Um, Again, what time is it right now? Okay, it's 6 after. So we got to wrap it up. But
Yeah.
um, right here's proof. I mean, you're looking at it right there.
Yeah.
Nitro
It's
from Hessler Motorsports. He's taking a good quality supplement, is keeping his leukemia at bay. I mean, come on, y'all.
it's
What more proof do you need?
and
The guy's alive
and
because of it.
yeah, and my dad, before my dad passed, he had 5 cancers, and he only had to have surgery on one of them, and that was because he wasn't on CBD at the time, because CBD actually shrunk the the cancers that were mass. They were actually the
Right,
masses like on your pancreas or lung. They actually shrunk because CBD and CBG, the element in it, actually
right.
actually adhere to the protein that allow cancer cells to attach to each other, and they stop. So always I say this: if you can buy alcohol, if you can buy, you know, uh, junk food, if you can and do all this other stuff, you can take time and spend a little bit of money to help your health. And but we can always talk more about that. Um, Go to Zalise.com / relief for troops,
Let me put that up here
and
real quick.
yeah,
That whole
and
time you should have
we'll
said something. I would have put that up there. I totally forgot about that.
yeah. Um,
What a jerk, Chuck. What a
so hey,
jerk.
Whip, have a great night. Go to the channel. Hope all is well. Appreciate you. Yeah. So just again, do your research. I'm you know I really am loyal to the things that have worked for me. Um, and I think that people, we don't have it out enough, man, because we haven't been able to get out enough. Now that
Sure.
the race car is almost ready to go, we can get back out there and get the eye candy. Got a lot of cool things coming up with Elise. Had a phone call with them night before
Oh
last. So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah. That was a good
we're gonna keep
conversation.
that under wraps. But that was pretty cool. So there's just a lot of things that in time it'll come. In time it'll come.
Sure enough. Sure enough. Sure enough. So again, folks, I wish we had more time. I really do. I wish we could
Yeah.
talk for hours because I mean, there's just so much stuff that I would love to say, and um, just facts and things that I would love to share with people. Um,
Yeah.
so, sometimes we just can't. So, but I will say this: if there's a topic, or um, if there's anything that you would like to talk about, or if you would like us to dive deeper into a certain topic that we've talked about already, give us a shout. Gearheads and Guardians at gmail.com. You can address it just to whoever, Drew or I, or hey guys, whatever, don't matter. And anything that y'all want us to talk about, man, I'd be more than happy to sit down and put together some stuff. It might take me a week or so, but get my facts together and present that stuff to you. That'd be great. So again, though, guys, um, if you're contemplating hurting yourself, 988, please use that phone, call somebody. We
Please.
care. We care. Gearheads and Guardians at gmail.com. Get on the computer, go to the library, do what you got to do. email Chuck and Drew, gearheads and guardians at gmail.com. Let us know how we can help.
Exactly.
We
Adele,
we just rather have
good
you
seeing you.
around.
We'll see you next week. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Take care of yourself. God bless y'all. Take care of yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Again, hit that like button, ring that notification bell, and like and subscribe. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday,
Have a good night, man.
7:00, right here. Gearheads and Guardians. We'll see you then. God bless. And you have a wonderful evening, y'all.